Thank you for joining us here on the Spider Success Podcast. This is a great opportunity for you to go ahead, introduce yourself, your name, class, and sport you played.
Can't believe everybody doesn't know me already by sight. This is so disappointing. I'm Sharron, formerly Yates, now Harrison. I was a Spider up until 2001, and I was on the field hockey team.
There we go. Well, you're still a Spider, but a
That's
Spider
true.
athlete.
Sorry, lifelong Spider, but an on-campus Spider. Let's go with that.
There we go. Okay, so go ahead and tell us about what your current position is and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so I hope that everybody has their beverage of choice for this bedtime story. So my current position is Vice President of Marketing at Ivy.ai. We are an AI communications platform company. We work with higher education institutions, public sector, and healthcare. Nothing that I did previously prepared me for this job. So after college, with a degree in history, super useful for my chosen career, I went into the sports management and marketing industry and spent pretty much 2 decades doing varying or performing in varying roles in that industry. Started my own company at one point, did a lot of consulting, working with brands and with athletes of varying visibility and profiles in a variety of sports. So golf, baseball, I worked overseas for a little bit in cricket. And then, made just a hard right into ed tech. And I'm quite happy. So I've been at Ivy for just over 3.5 years. I started out in a sales role, was the vice president of sales until November of last year when I moved into the marketing role.
Nice marketing. I know we got a lot of marketing students here, so they definitely perked up when you said that bit. So could you give us some of the lessons that you've learned or you did learn on your path coming from being a student athlete to being the vice president of marketing at Ivy AI, excuse me.
Yeah, no, well, I know that you'll understand this one because you're also a former athlete. Resiliency, I think, is probably the biggest thing, right? Like I have an overwhelming fear of failure. I am a perfectionist, and yet somehow my life is not perfect. So clearly I have learned some lessons along the way where I'm constantly falling short of my own expectations, and that's okay. But it's the next single step that I take that's the most important thing, right? So whether it was on the field and I, excuse me, missed a shot, missed a play, drew a foul, whatever it was, okay, that happens. But then what's the next thing that you do? Do you get up and run faster, run harder, go after the ball, right? Go after the girl that took the ball from you, whatever it might be. And so that has translated in every single role, opportunity, challenge that I've had, whether it's professional or personal. And certainly taking that into, starting a role as the vice president of marketing as we were relaunching a website and taking a brand new product to market. There was a lot of like failure bows. Thank you so much. And then what am I going to do next? What's the opportunity? What's the learning? What's the learning from this? So I think that that's probably the biggest thing. And then also the ability to adapt and like pivot on the fly, right? And I'll speak specifically to field hockey because God forbid I try to tell anybody else about their sport, but in field hockey, right? Like it's constant movement. Can you read the field? Can you see what's coming? Can you adjust to what you're seeing coming at you? And so that, I guess, kind of goes hand in hand with that resiliency, although one is a little more anticipatory and one is reactive. So it's that ability to look and go, okay, I think I can see what's coming towards me, right? I'm thinking multiple steps ahead and I'm adjusting my strategy on the fly in order to get to the end result that I've identified as my goal. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. I hope
It
that
absolutely
translates.
Yeah, and I think kind of having both sides of that coin, you're reacting, but you're also kind of still evaluating. So you're not doing the same thing over, or doing the same mistake over and over,
Mhm.
learning from it, and then adjusting as you continue to, seek that success.
Yeah.
So you can tweak as you go, because, until you're in the ground, it's still a continuous process, and you're learning and moving towards whatever you're endeavoring to be successful in. So
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
yeah, you're definitely, that makes sense to me. Um, and this is a off the books question I'm throwing
Can't
at you,
wait.
but any advice you would give, you are a female executive, former female athlete,
Hmm.
advice you would give to a young woman, female student athlete that's about to go out into the working world?
Yeah, and I'd love to say that it's like specific to a female athlete, but I think it just pertains to like all females and quite frankly everybody in general, right? So I have 5 daughters. This is the conversation that we have, but I would certainly have it, if I had a table full of boys, which is just know your value.
Right.
Know your value, know the attributes that you are bringing to the table with you. Um, one of my many hats that I wore in my career trajectory was running my own management company. And I focused on female athletes because I felt like they have the hardest time speaking up and saying, no, I'm worth more than what you're willing to give me. And so I really felt like I wanted to give them a voice, and that gave me pause where I thought, oh, wait, I should probably apply that to my own life and take my own lessons. So it was something I learned later in life, but when you're looking at like your athletic career and you're putting that on your resume, I think I've heard you say this, put it at the top.
Mhm.
That is a unique attribute. That is value. And the value in that is not just that you're an athlete. The value in that is, you have excellent time management, you're organized, you're a hard worker. Oh, wait, we can quantify what that hard work looks like. It's not spoken about in sort of the abstract. It's a very specific thing. You show dedication, all of those things. And so that is the beginning of establishing your value. And I think that that also correlates with this idea that, and I'll speak specifically to the females, like our identity changes a number of times over the course of our life. And for so long, our value and our identity is tied to our contribution to our given sport, our team. And so our identity as an athlete, but really your value extends beyond that as your identity, right? Your identity is actually that you are a woman and you are a contributing member of society and you are kind and generous and all of those wonderful things, right? And so learn how to appreciate that in yourself, because then that comes through when you're speaking to people. It supports your confidence. It supports that, like walking into the room like you own it. And I feel like I'm running on here, but I will tell you just one anecdote. My 11-year-old bonus daughter, I'll call her, she's my stepdaughter, but I hate even carving her out as anything other than one of my daughters. She was telling me that she was really nervous going to school one day because they had some big tests. And to an 11-year-old, right, tests are, well, hell, to me at this time, a test is like, oh. So I wanted to try to give her some little things that she's not going to have, like swing thoughts, right? Like if you give somebody too many swing thoughts, their golf swing is going to suffer. So give them one thing to think about. So I said, Barrett, before you walk into your classroom, if you need to take a second, go to the bathroom, get your head straight, whatever, but take this little bit, and you're going to laugh, of what I saw on Grey's Anatomy 20 years ago, where it was the power pose, right? Like put your hands on your hips
Like Wonder
and
Woman.
exactly. And just stand up straight for a second. And I for sure have done that at my own desk on a number of occasions before a call that was like, where your stomach is like dropping and you're so nervous. And it immediately forced me to stand up straight and to have a presence. And so I was like, Bear, just take 2 seconds, put your hands on your hips, take a deep breath. You'll be okay. And so that is, the other thing that I would give is know your value, but also find a way to stand up straight. And even if it's an act, even if you are faking it, no one else knows. Everybody will think that you are confident and that you have your shit together. Sorry if this is a G-rated.
You're fine. Yeah, well, my big thing when I'm going into a nerve-wracking situation, I look at the mirror and I smile at myself.
Yeah.
Big smile. And
Well, it's
then
a good thing you have a good smile, right? That's
thank you,
that
thank you.
helps. But
But
yes,
it's
exactly.
a big smile, and it usually makes me laugh. And then I realize it's not that serious, and then I go. So that's
That's a
very good
really
advice. I think I'm gonna take some of that and use it. So those are my questions. Any parting thoughts or anything?
anything. Well, listen, that's a whole can of worms we don't want to open. But I just want to underscore something you just said. It's not that serious. And that probably should have been one of the lessons I learned. But that's a really good thing to remember. It's not that serious,
Yeah,
right? Like all of these things are moments, blips in time across your whole lifespan.
right.
So don't let that one tiny moment define you. Make it the aggregate. So that's my words of wisdom
There we
for
go.
what it's worth.
The sun will shine tomorrow.
That's true.
There we go. Well,
I hope.
let me say thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your wisdom, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Yeah, thank you. Go Spiders.